All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. This is kind of unscheduled, but I had a few questions and I thought, you know what, I've been meaning to get online, talk to you guys, and hopefully answer some questions. Obviously, we have had many conversations on Discord regarding what the market's going to do, about the timeline, the time frame, whatever you want to call it. So everything is going to plan, right? Let's just say everything is going to plan. And I'm really excited, and of course I want to celebrate it with everybody. We smashed through 80k today. That is a psychological number. It's not so any new all-time highs you're going to see every day. If we create a brand new all-time high, 80k, 81k, 83k, none of these matter because they are not actually like based on the chart or anything like this. These are brand new price discovery. So price discovery, we could go anywhere. We could literally shoot to the moon. So earlier on today, I did actually send a screenshot again on Discord, because that's where I kind of, when I'm not on YouTube, I spend a lot of time talking to people on Discord. So that's where my community lives anyway, right? So you're welcome to come and join. It's completely for free, and we can talk. That's not an issue. So I posted a few things and I posted some targets, right? And so let's to get into this. The first question I had was, what do the blue colored lines and white colored lines mean? Absolutely nothing, right? Basically what I do is, as I progress through time, so what you'll find is I have different color lines, and that's kind of a marker or a reminder for me on when I did that. So I know that my blue lines came before the white lines, and you could have even more white lines before the blue lines, and they're all fine, right? And then I could have yellow lines before that. So these are a way of me kind of remembering what has happened where, basically, if that makes any sense, right? I can't see any chat, so I'm not quite sure if anyone's here on the stream yet. But if you are, say hi, don't be shy, let me know, so at least that way I know what's going on, right? So what was I saying? So the lines are there as a reference for myself, right? If that makes any sense, right? So I know when I've placed those lines, was it before or was it after? And by distinguishing myself with these colored lines, I know what's what. But ultimately what you need to be focusing on is the horizontal lines that I've placed. Those are our support and resistance technically, however, also our target prices. So for example, now that we've gone past the 80k or 78k to be precise, and I'll tell you why I'm saying this, because I did tell the entire community, I said, look, 78k is the first target, right? So 73, I wasn't even bothered about that. We don't even care about the all-time high that we've had previously. That didn't even matter, because as we're moving up, we have to have a brand new target. So my target wasn't 73k, 74k, none of that business. My target was 78k. We smashed through that, right? And then we basically went to 80k now, which is fine, right? We're at 80,200 or something like this, which is absolutely brilliant. But of course our target is at $86,000. So now our target is 86. Now, of course, today we're going to close the candle for the week, which is fantastic, and it's going to close on a green, which again is brilliant for the market, right? For the entire market, it's absolutely phenomenal. So when we close the next candle, we could expect it to be another green. That could be that candle that pushes us up towards the $86,000. Now that's only from where we are right now. It's only about 8%, right? It's only about 8%. So it could take a few days, but if we do a couple of percent every day, 8% is nothing, right? And that's what I've been telling a lot of people. When you start looking at the percentage, it looks like a big number, but it's actually nothing. For example, I'll give you a good example. There are some alts in my own portfolio which are currently about 25% away from where it needs to be, like its previous all-time high. Now here's a fun fact, right? During the market, like the current cycles that we've had, these coins bled out 99%. So just as a rough example I'm giving you, right? Something that was bought for $1 became a cent, but currently it's at 75 cents, which means I'm only 25% away from breaking even, right? And if we get to that level, we're going to get even more. So you have to look at these percentages overall. Like every day it doesn't do much, but when they shine, right? So that's just one of those things. Of course, there are some other coins where they are still 95% below the market, which is a bit concerning, right? And then, as I said, like the way the way I'm looking at it is, for me, my biggest indicator for an altcoin that I want to see an altcoin season, right? It's two things, right? One, I need to see BTC stabilize. Funnily, I am seeing that already happen. So BTC is definitely kind of stabilized. I'm not sure if you're here on the chat. Let me know, because I can't really see the chat. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. So if you are here, say hi. At least I know that basically someone's here, right? Anyway, so the way I look at it, right, is I'm also, by the way, guys, please let me know if the audio is good. I'm not using any microphones or anything like this. My car engine is on, so I'm not sure if it's going through Bluetooth or it's going direct to the device itself. I'm not quite sure. So please let me know, because you are the judge and you can only tell me how I can improve these streams, right? And of course, if you're here for the first time, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe, and let's see. Desi Track Riders, it's live chat, bro. Audio is fine. Awesome. Thank you very much, my brother. Appreciate that, right? At least I know right now that, okay, we're live and basically someone's there and my audio is okay as well. Great. So where was I? Right. So these altcoins, right? So the way I look at it is I need two indicators, right? And one indicator is BTC needs to stabilize. So what I mean, we could shoot all the way to 100K, but 100K BTC doesn't make any difference to us if it's going to shoot all the way back down to 50K, right? That's not stable. That's volatile, right? That's absolute garbage. We don't want to see that. What we want to see is BTC shoot up to 75K, 80K, and hold that level, right? Which is exactly what it's doing right now. So of course, when I'm looking at the numbers, for me right now, 74K is a very strong level. Think about it. The previous all-time high has become now a strong resistance, or actually support zone for us. So which is a good thing. As long as we're above that number, for me, you know, it's as good as gold. And I think it is 100% stable. So that's that was my number one signal, right? So I've got that. My number two signal is I want to see Ethereum move. And of course, Ethereum did move, right? So eventually Ethereum started moving. In fact, I think 3 or 4 days ago on Discord, and again, everything I've said, guys, remember, my name is Sham, this is 0x5, and I always say the truth is out there. And what I mean by that, there are things I've said, there are things I've written on Discord or anywhere, right? They are all there as proof of what I've said, right? So the truth is 100% out there. So I think 3 or 4 days ago, I said, keep an eye on Ethereum and watch what Ethereum does, right? So, you know, Ethereum is about to shine, and Ethereum did shine. It broke out of this kind of a wedge, a ascending triangle it had, right? So it kind of broke out of that. The pattern's good, broke out. And currently we're looking at around the $3,500 level. Again, it's an insignificant level. That's not really that important. The most important level for me is the $3,900 level. As soon as we go there, I think Ethereum's going to shoot for the moon. So that's something I'm looking at. But Ethereum is just a guidance. Just like I use BTC to guide me through the entire market, to guide me through the bull market and tell me when it's a bull market and when it's not, or a bull run or bull not. Similar way, Ethereum does one thing for me. Ethereum indicates to me when all of the alts are going to start shining. And of course, when Ethereum moves 20-25%, right, for example, when it does that, the other alts are going to start shining. And in fact, we've seen some of them do it today. For example, Yearn Finance, YFI. A lot of you guys know Yearn Finance. Of course, its all-time high was about $95,000. Brilliant, right? But it's a one-off thing. Again, that's what I was talking about BTC. It doesn't matter if it goes to 100K. If it doesn't stay there and it shoots all the way down, what's the point, right? So let's not look at that, right? What we want to look at, stable numbers. So Yearn Finance dumped like hell. But recently, today, in fact, I think it did like almost a 50% pump, right? And that was like almost $2,500 added on to its original market value. So when you look at that, that is the kind of numbers I'm looking at. That's what I want to see in the altcoins. But that can only be possible when I see the bigger boys playing the game and moving along as well. And that means Ethereum for me is the number one indicator for the altcoins. So far, Ethereum moves 5, 6%, 7% per day, whatever it does, right? It does it. And then all of a sudden, Yearn Finance just wakes up, right? And I'm like, okay, that's a good indicator. So now I have another one that's just woken up. Oh, hold on. Cardano's just woken up, right? So I see that. I see El Bubble. Awesome, my brother. Nice to see you here. So I see that kind of move up, right? And I see various other coins that I've been holding for a very long time. I'm not even joking. Some of them from 2018. So I see them moving, right? So for me, obviously, I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, altcoin season going to come in, but it's not quite there yet. Right, because BTC hasn't stabilized. Remember, BTC stabilizing only means that the other coins are able to catch up and take over the dominance, right? So BTC dominance is still too high, you know. However, so far, according to the maths that we did, where we said that it could be between 2 to 4 months. So this is when we were bleeding out. I said 2 to 4 months, the signal's in, we are going to go continue and pump, right? That is already happening. Right, so we still know that we have enough room for this entire market to grow, right? Also, another thing to point out, if you look at the coin market cap, it's currently sitting at 2.77 or 2.78 trillion dollars, something like that, right? That's all with all the scam coins and the shit coins, so I'm not too concerned about that. Of course, when I look at my trading view, I see a 2.68 trillion dollars, and that says to me, do you know what? There's not, we don't really have to worry too much, because we're only about $320 billion away from getting to the $3 trillion mark, because that's a milestone for us. We need to get to the $3 trillion mark, because remember, the last cycle we had, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 million less coins, right? 4 or 5 million less coins, and we were at $3.1 trillion, right? That was the top when we peaked out, right? So currently, if we're at 2.68 with bloody millions of coins, it doesn't make sense, right? So we need the entire market to catch up. Now, catching up is not much. These numbers are insignificant. What I mean by that, look, put it this way. If people buy 2% of all the BTC right now on the exchanges on chain, I'm not talking about OTC. I don't give a damn about OTC. OTC doesn't help us at all. So let's not look at OTC. So if people go on exchanges and buy 2%, 10%, whatever, right? Let's just say 2% of all the BTC that's currently available on exchanges, and they're not dumping, so they're not dumping, that will automatically increase the price, the valuation of the entire market, right? So you buy one BTC, everybody else reflects that price. Do you know what I mean? So getting to that $3 trillion is actually quite simple. It's not that you don't need $320 billion to do that. That's what I'm trying to say here. You can actually achieve that with $30 billion. So think about it. You can 10x the value by doing it with a very small amount of money. So that's how I'm looking at it, right? So I think there's an opportunity here, and the big boys that have been holding for a very long time, and what I mean by big boys, I'm talking about Coinbase. They've been buying like hell. Binance have been buying like hell. Why? Because they want to sell it OTC, which makes sense, right? You know, we've got Michael Saylor, who's been buying like hell, which is great, right? And we've got a few other people who have had them since some time now, but they've been holding or moving them around or whatever, right? And I know they've been trying to cause some panic and this and that, but the only thing we need to panic about is when they're going to dump, right? And so far, even they're not stupid, right? And I've said this many times. If I can see it on the chart, guys, they can also see it on the chart. So I think we're going to get to a level where basically we might. So this is the targets that I have, and some of them are probabilistic, right? So this is how I'm looking at it. So there are some numbers that I was quite certain about. So even when we were, you know, dumping and going down to like 60K or whatever, I can't remember what number it was, right? It was something silly, but it's on Discord anyway. The whole entire conversation is on Discord. I said my first target is 78K. So that was me being 100% certain. And then my next level, I said 86K. I never went above that. I know a lot of guys have thrown numbers like 250K, 500K, $1 million. You know, what's the Kathy Wood said $10 million, right? Great. Listen, we all want to see those numbers, and we're definitely going to see those numbers at some point, right? But remember, I don't just look at the one number. I'm also looking at other macro factors in the market as well, right? So for me, the way I looked at it was, okay, 86K is good, right? As long as if we get to that level and the market's stable, then we could easily be pushed up, right, by the alts, right? So the alts could push us up to 103K. Now that's a number I have also mentioned, right? But now I've published it, right? So on Discord again, I published it. So I said 103K. But after 103K, I've got a funny number that just popped up, and that was a number that I wasn't looking for at that time, right? And this came up to me today, and I'm seeing these two numbers. It's 133 to 137, and that's quite funny. It's telling me that if we get to $103,000, then we could easily go and test 133,000 to 137. Now, it didn't give me a fixed number, which was quite funny because normally I get a fixed number, right? So using my crazy maths, I'm always getting some sort of a fixed number, but I didn't in this case. And I was like, wow, okay, I've got a variation. Do you know what? I'll take it, right? As long as I'm between the 133 and 137 or close enough, I think I did my job, right? I've informed my community that, guys, these are the numbers we're expecting. But there's another fun fact to this, right? And the fun fact is, while I was doing these numbers, I actually got indications of when we enter a bear market, so remember, I'm always moving ahead of time, right? So I'm giving you information about the future, right? I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm giving you information about the future based on crazy maths that I do, and I'm throwing numbers out there, right? But I'm not just throwing any random numbers. I always give you very specific numbers, right? So to the penny, basically. So anyway, I realized something when I started plotting the 133 and the 137, and I got a rough estimate. I was looking at the other side of the spectrum, the other end of the chart, and I started seeing numbers, right? Numbers that are potential bear market bottom prices. I was like, I like this, right? So now I'm already getting, so I know previously somebody asked me, they said, previously I can't ask any questions, I'm listening, bro. Okay, no worries. I see. So one of my brothers, he's watching or listening, right? So he can't ask questions, but listen, you can always text me or message me, and I'll happily read it from there. So if I see the notification, I can read it from there. If you have any questions, do fire away. I don't have an issue with that. But anyway, what was I saying? So he asked, like, what could be the bear market bottom price? At that time, I didn't know. And even now, I cannot give you with 100% certainty what the number is, but I am seeing an indication of where the probability would be. So, right? So the maths is telling me that's the probability of it being high. And then on the other side of the spectrum, that's the probability of it being low. And that was quite interesting. I was like, so I'm getting a rough indication already. However, as I said, I cannot confirm anything until we do what we need to do, right? So until we get to that level that we have to get to. So whether it be 133, 134, 150, or even 250K, I don't know. As long as we're moving up, we let it move, right? And then we want to see where it settles, and where it settles is where we can then calculate and say this could be the potential bear market bottom, or we can do an if this then that, right? Which means if we hit this price, then we could see this scenario. If we hit that price, then we could hit this scenario. Hence how basically exactly how we did it in 2021, where we said, right, if it gets to 20K, it could go to that 17K. If it gets to 17, it could go to 16. And we kind of had this whole thing, and of course it's one of the videos, right? So similar way, we could actually plot this and say what the scenarios could be potentially, and the worst case scenario. So of course you don't have to look for the bear market bottom, like the 100% bottom, because we did get one number wrong. Last time we said we could potentially go to 13,800. We didn't go to 13,800. I know a lot of people were shouting and screaming about the what was it called, the 12,000. We didn't. I've never mentioned that. For me, my last number that stopped for me was around $16,000, and I think it was 15,500 or something like this. That was the last number, and we dipped below that, and then a lot of people bought it, and then we moved back up again. So end of the day, I'm not 100% accurate, but the reason is, guys, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what the market's going to do. I do not control the people's sentiment, but it's just using some simple maths that I'm able to say that's the likelihood, that's the biggest probability. But when you're looking at a project going all the way from, like, I know, what was it, 60K, 58K, I can't even remember off the top of my head, but going all the way down to that level, a lot of people didn't even expect that, but the maths was correct, and it did give us the probability, and based on those probabilities, pretty much all of them came true except one, right? And that was the worst case scenario, because I never had a number below that, right? So luckily we didn't go there. And again, as I say, if I can see the number, others can see the number, because if you go anything below that, then you literally drown the entire market, and we just go completely downwards, and we never come back up again. So it becomes it goes into a very high risk territory. We don't want that. So the market also needs this, and the market can actually react to this as well. So that's what it is. I know I've just gone on a complete non-stop thing. So there's one other question. So a brother asked, right? He said something about taxation, right? So we're in the UK. And here he is. Hi up, lads. So Jack the lad, he asked a question on Discord, and he said obviously he wants to off ramp his crypto. Now, funny, you've just come in time anyway, so I was going to answer this. So here's the fun part, right? I can give you the most basic answer, the most generic answer every other crypto expert, right? I don't call myself an expert, but every other crypto expert or crypto tax expert, even freaking accountants, will tell you. I can give you the answer, but that's not what you're looking for, right? And for me to give you the perfect answer, it's actually individual, because the way the tax works, right, in UK or even around the globe, it's actually dependent on the individual circumstances. So there will be a lot of personal questions that I will have to ask you. So if you're asking me for advice, friendly advice, obviously I don't do any financial advice. In fact, anything here is not financial advice, but I can give you friendly advice, right? But I would have to ask you a lot of personal questions, right? How much you earn, what your family earns, and there's so many different things, right? Because each person has an individuality, right? Which actually can benefit them when it comes to taxation. A lot of people won't know this because everyone's going to give you the generic one. Oh, let's Google this, right? Oh, Google said 10%. That's what you're going to pay, mate. Sorry? Hold on. So how do you pay? Who do you pay? Where do you pay? There's a lot of it, right? So end of the day, I don't think it's I can give you a generic answer, because if I did, then I'll be doing the complete dishonest thing with you. It wouldn't help you at all. The most honest thing I could do is give you a individual answer based on your circumstances. After I know what they are, right, then you'll have the correct answer, and that is going to basically that's going to be how you're going to win. Right? You know, and I always say win sometimes when it comes to taxation, because end of the day, look, tax is theft, right? However, tax is not always theft, right? For example, some of the tax, so a very small percentage, does come back to infrastructure, schools, policing, ambulance, and this and that, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I would love 100% to go. Unfortunately, that's not the reality, because about 90% of that goes to fight wars in other countries that we never even asked for, right? So that's the biggest problem that I have with tax. So at the end of the day, that's the reason why I think it's theft, right? But there are some good things out of it. That does come in very small, as I said, right? And in fact, if you can protect most of your funding and whatever profits you've made, then yeah, why not? Keep as much as you can. Of course, the only way you're going to keep it is by not breaking the law, but being in that gray area, all right? And the gray area is individual, right? So it depends on your individual circumstances. Remember this, right? So maybe when you're free, give me a shout, right? I'm not going to, this is not for everybody, guys. Listen, I do this for a living. So part of my the way I make my living is I do consultancy, right? So I do charge people for this. But in your case, Jack the Lad, you're welcome to contact me. I will not charge you anything, and this is not an offer for everybody. This is just for Jack the Lad. You're welcome to contact me, and we will have a private conversation, and I will try my best to guide you. Again, I do my best to guide everybody, but it's not always a win-win, because some circumstances require you to pay something, right? You know, and you could be on a higher band, and maybe I could help you pay a lower band. That's all it is, right? There's no such thing as absolutely paying nothing. And of course, there are some circumstances where you don't pay anything at all, right? And we've done that as well, right? And I'm not a tax advisor, neither am I a accountant or a financial advisor. So please, please, please take whatever with a pinch of salt. And as I said, I can give you some friendly advice based on some of the experiences and based on some of the clients that I've met over time and some of the solutions that we've come up with, right? Because part of my consultancy job is to take your problem, right? Literally take it all in a basket, put it in a basket and say, right, this is all of your problem. Do we have all of it? And you'd be like, yes, that's all my problem. You sure about that? I want all of your problems. Okay, here's all my problems, right? Because there's always something right somewhere, right? I don't care if it's financial, it's emotional, family, friends, whatever. I want all your problems. So you've given me all your problems. Let's find a solution for all your problems. Let's try and kill every single bird with one stone, right? So most of the times it does work. There are sometimes, as I said, we have to adjust. But once we have all the problems, then we have a solution, and it works, right? So that's that. I'm not plugging anything here, as I said, right, guys? Please don't take this the wrong way. I know a lot of people might, oh, he's plugging. No, I'm not plugging anywhere. Most of my guys know I do consulting anyway, so it's fine. But as I said, I won't charge you anything. You're welcome to contact me privately. I will have to know your personal needs, your personal circumstances. Based on that, I could give you a rough estimate, or a rough guidance at least, right, for what you could potentially do. It's not going to be 100% do this or do that. No, I'm not going to instruct you. I'm just going to tell you what the potentials are and how you can basically do what you need to do. You know what I mean, right? So I'll do my best, as I said. I'll do my best. So I hope that kind of answers your question. If there is any other question, guys, please let me know. I don't really have a whole bunch of questions. I know there are plenty more out there. So I think I've answered most of them, because someone did ask me what's the next target, and I think I just answered that right now. So my next target is $86,000, then it's $103,000, and then it's $133,000. $133,000 is not relevant right now until we hit the 103. So remember, each of the higher numbers is not relevant until we get there. Of course, someone asked me about how low we can potentially go in the bear market, and as I've explained just a few moments ago, that I cannot tell you until we stabilize wherever we need to go to. Then we can start calculating downwards and say, right, this is the potential number that we can potentially come and land on. Right. Of course, many people might talk about other coins. All right, what do you think about these coins pumping and this? Guys, buy anything. It doesn't really matter. Any shit coin you can think of. I would recommend the top coins, obviously the top tier coins, top 50. Maybe if you're a bit more, you know, you want to go and explore a little bit, fine, go for the top 100, excluding all the USD coins, obviously, right? So I'm talking about USD peg, USDC, USDT, God knows whatever, hundreds of USD pegs there are. But the point is, ignore them, and then whatever the top 100 has, those are okay. Yeah, if you want to go and play that, that's not an issue. You're going to take a little bit more risk. The way I would say it, and not a financial advice, my opinion would be, you know, if you got $100, just an example, take $1 and play on some of those exotic ones, right? And what I mean by exotic is the Solana meme coin sector. So they do pump a lot. However, they will also dump very hard as well. So you do have really, really high risk on there. And in my opinion, my personal experience, if you are playing with memes, right, especially on the Solana, I'm not talking about Ethereum memes or anything like this. I'm talking about Solana memes, and this is very important, right? And there are plenty of other chains who are also doing memes as well. If you are playing with memes, please, 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 don't be that guy that saw his $100 go to $150,000 and not cash out. Don't be that guy that put $500 in and he saw his balance to be $1 million and he didn't cash out. Don't be that guy, because this is real. This has just happened. This is real. Someone threw $500 and his balance was $1 million, right? Because he literally had like quarter of the entire supply when he first bought it. So he just threw 500. It was $1 million, and there was enough liquidity for him to sell at least $750,000 worth. $750,000. He didn't do that. Guys waited. I was like, yeah, he's going to go up a little bit more. I've seen the community. Community is really strong. There's about 50,000 strong community. Sorry, 50,000 strong community. How many holders? Oh, 1,000 holders. Oh, 1,000 holders, 50,000 community. Do you not see where the maths just broke apart? Do you not see where the maths broke apart? Okay, was there enough liquidity? Yeah, there was liquidity. Okay, why didn't you dump? Well, it's going to go up even more. That's what the community is saying. The 50,000 community that only 1,000 holders have, has only 100,000 holders. They said that, and that's where you went. You didn't realize that you've just basically made it. You've just made it, right? You entered, you took a risk with $500 and you made it. It's every crypto, you know, the crypto universe's dream, right? To chuck $100 or $500 or $1,000 and make it into $1 million. It's everyone's dream. You did it and you didn't cash out. Don't do that. Don't do that. So anyway, he's regretting now because end of the day, he saw $1 million and now his balance is like $200 or something, or even less than that. So basically he's been wiped out because the pump only lasts a single freaking day. So rather than you being online, checking your balance and then exiting the hell out of it, right? He's sitting on Discord or wherever, Telegram or whatever he was, right? And he's talking to the 50,000 members who have 1,000 holders. Please, 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 don't fall for these kind of traps, because these are the stuff that wreck you, right? So anyway, that's what's happened with that one person. But yeah, as I said, there are plenty of opportunities out there. You will make those money, right? Like for me, I'm on Solana meme coins. There are some meme coins I'm on, and believe me, I'm checking them at least 2-3 times a day. Do you know why? Because as soon as they start pumping and go parabolic, that's when I know it's time to exit, bro. You get the hell out. I don't give a damn what it is, right? I don't care if it's going to go to a moon. I don't care if it's going to go to $1 million a coin. I want to be out, right? So that's something you got to do when you start being in these meme coins, especially on the Solana ecosystem. It's full of scammers. So please, please understand this. There are people out there who will pump it themselves. They will pump it when they do It's either they take your money or you take their money, one or the other. And I don't think there's any harm in that. I know people will say, oh, you can't say things like that. Listen, if someone else is ready to take my money, then guess what? I'm going to take his money if I can before him, right? Simple as that, right? So ultimately, dog eat dog. It's all about profit, right? Someone's going to lose, and I don't want it to be me, full stop, right? If that makes me look like bad or a monster or whatever, by all means, I don't really care, right? I don't really care, because I don't want to be on the losing side. That's the only thing. I've gone in with my real money, my hard-earned work, hard worked or earned money, and I don't want to lose that, right? So for me, I want to keep my funds. That's all I care about. I want to keep my funds, keep my profits, and move forward. So as I said, Solana meme coin, I'm checking the balances 2-3 times a day, because a lot of the time notifications don't really come through. I don't know why, but I've got multiple wallets. I'm checking them out. I'm checking the balances, and as soon as I see a nice little pump there, I'm ready to take at least my initial investment out, if not the entire lot, right? Because I'm not sticking around, because they're not going to last that long. So that's the meme coin industry, if you are looking at it. Now, of course, there are other coins people have been holding for the last 2-3 years. I know people who have been, who bought some coins at pennies, like literally pennies, right? And they've seen it go up, they've held, they've seen it go down, they've held. Full conviction, right? So it's gone up, gone down, gone up, gone down. And a lot of people are in profit. To be honest, they are in profit, right? Some of them are not yet, right? There's one brother, he went heavy on crypto.com, and unfortunately he lost 90% of his entire valuation on crypto.com because he bought it on the wrong day. I'm just going to leave it there, right? So it's a sad story, but he literally put everything in, hoping it's going to pump even more. He's had conversations. In fact, he's even had conversations with me and other people, and he's like, what's the potential? What's the likelihood? And everyone said positive things. It's like, yeah, there's a potential. It could go up there, right? The probability is it could go up there. But by the time he got in there, it was already there. And that's where he made the mistake. And he was thinking, is it going to go higher? It's like, yeah, possible, but you don't want to be going in. So right now, the one advice I'm going to tell people, if you haven't bought something, is it worth the risk? In my opinion, it's not. Don't take the risk and jump into a coin right now. Don't. If you didn't buy it when it was bloody already, if you didn't have conviction, don't buy it, because you're going to end up being that guy who bought it at the wrong time. Don't do what that guy did, right? Anyway, Crow's done a nice little recovery, and you know, he's recovered quite a bit, but he's still holding on, and I hope that when it gets to the level that he needs to get to, he can actually exit, you know, forget the profit, take your initial out, okay, and sit back, and hopefully you can come back in during when everybody else came in, right? So for example, what I mean by that, people who went in below $20,000 BTC, well, we just got a 4x. That's a 4, we're sitting on a 4x. Some people are sitting on 4.5, almost 5x. So think about that, right? Sometimes you got to have convictions, and you got to be able to go in at the right time, but don't fall for the hype. That's all I'm saying, because that's the thing that's going to wreck you, right? Do not fall for the hype. And if someone's telling you, myself or anybody, doesn't matter, just because we're bullish on something, just because we're highly excited, and just because I've thrown you a number, so like today I said 134 to 137, that's a number. Don't jump on the back of that. Oh, actually, do you know what? If I buy it at 100K, I could even go to 30, I could make 30%. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you haven't already bought it, don't buy it. Believe me, don't buy it. Leave it. Let it go. It's going to come back. It's going to come back below the price you're looking at today. How about that? Just be patient. Save your funds. That's what I'm going to say. But again, going back to those people who have been holding for the last 2-3 years, 4 years, if you have come up to the level where you're now ready to, you've made profits, or you're in, and I know a lot of you guys are in profit, right? Even with crypto.com and whatnot, right? Crow or whatever. There's a lot of guys who bought it for pennies, right? So if you are in that level, right, then I think if you have never considered taking your initial out, get ready to take your initial out. Well, it doesn't matter. You don't have to take your profits out. Take your initial out, right? Because there's no harm, guys. You'd rather have loads of dry powder and then come back in later on, right? And I've said this many times. During the parabola, during a hype, right? When the market starts moving up, right? When everything's shooting upwards, you should be able to take some profits off the table. If not, then just take your initial investment off the table and get ready to exit, because the market will end anytime. Of course, in this particular case, we're looking at another month or 2 months, maybe 3 months, maybe even 4 months. But none of that matters because we have not seen the future. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone what's going to happen 4 months down the line. So don't take these words for granted. And I'm talking about myself and everybody else. Anybody who claims to be an expert, first of all, he's not an expert, right? That's the worst thing an expert could do. Anybody who thinks they're qualified enough to tell you, right, what's going on, you take it with a pinch of salt. Just a pinch of salt, that's it. If someone says 3 months, your aim should be 2 months, right? What I'm saying is don't take that as an absolute, because they have not seen the future unless they have, right? Unless you have a chronovisor. Yeah, maybe you have seen the future, but no, I don't have a chronovisor. I don't know about the future. Just in case you don't know what I'm referencing here, the chronovisor, just search it and you'll understand. Just put Vatican chronovisor and you'll get something come up. So the point is, I have not seen the future. I have not been to the future. So I don't know what's really going to happen, right? Everything that I'm giving you is based on the charts, right? And my charts varies from a week, you know, like the candles could be weekly candles, could be 2 weekly candles, could be 2 months candle, could be a month candle, could be 6 month candle. The point is I'm using the math on the charts as a reference, and then I'm kind of doing some probabilistic maths and saying this is probable. Now probability could be something, could be 51% probability, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with 51%. As long as it's 51%, I'm positive. As long as it's 49%, if it's 49%, then I'm not positive about it. You see what I mean? So probabilistic maths doesn't have to be 100%. It will never be 100%, in fact, right? Nothing is 100%. But as long as I've got 51%, and then if my numbers are growing and it's a little bit higher, and I'm getting more and more confidence in the number, then I'm ready to publish those numbers, if that makes sense, right? So that's that. This is, I know you guys probably think, what the hell is this guy's like speeding it, right? Yes, I am. I'm talking very fast. I don't want to make this video too long. I know it's been a while since I've last come on live, but guys, I've just been really busy. You know, there's a few things I'm doing. I'm trying to set things up. I'm just trying to get my life back together as well, because a lot of you guys know that I lost my business and I lost basically all of my livelihood, and I had to reset myself, right? And I've been thinking along the lines on what to do. So kind of taking personal time and trying to figure out what I want to do next, right? And while that happens, of course, I'm still maintaining my normal day, normal life, what I do: consult people, advise people, give help to friends and family, do whatever I can, right? It doesn't matter. If someone needs a tap fixing, I'm out there. Someone needs their garden bloody mowed or whatever, right? Yeah, I'm there. I don't care. I'm there. If I'm there for the friends and family. That's what I'm saying. So I'm doing my best, but trying to keep my, I think I'm going to come out with it, right? The thing that's been affecting me more is mental. So I've been psychologically kind of really down, right? Everything that's happened to me in the last couple of years just kept on building up, and it was like never ending, right? And it affected me a lot mentally. And I'm not like, I haven't lost the plot, right? But it got to the point where, you know, I'm questioning life itself, right? So that's kind of serious when you get to that level. It's kind of serious, right? And you know, I know I'm going through depression as well. So, but rather than go through depression and then be stuck in it forever, I just keep myself busy, right? And by keeping myself busy, I'm keeping these things off my mind, and I'm moving forward with life. And you know, when people, friends and family come up to me and they're like, oh, can you do crypto? Can you tell us about crypto? Can you do this about crypto? Or what do you think about BTC? I love it. I enjoy explaining crypto to them. I enjoy explaining what the market potentials are. I enjoy showing them, like, for example, was it last week or the week before? I think it was last week. I can't remember. I think it was last week. It was in November, so it was last week, yeah. Someone I spoke to in 2017, and I remember BTC, at that time, it was early 2017, and I think BTC was around £1,000, not dollars. It was £1,000 a coin, right? So around that time, it was £1,000 a coin. And I spoke to this particular person. I bumped into them as a family member, and I bumped into them. And they were like, oh, you know, would you think about Bitcoin and this and that? I heard it's a freaking scam and this and that. I said, great, no worries. But, you know, if you got money, I would recommend, and he had money that time. So I said, look, if you got money, I would say put about 50K, because I know what he's got, so how much money he has, right? So I knew that 50K for him is nothing. So if you got 50K, buy 50 of them and just leave it, right? So I saw him the other day and I was like, do you remember when I told you to buy 50 and just invest 50K? He's like, yeah, bro, I regret it for the rest of my life. I said, well, did you buy any at all? He goes, no, I've never bought it. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I'm afraid now, because what you said to me, I've seen the maths behind that. And now I'm afraid that if I enter now, what if it goes down back to that 1K? So now he's thinking the opposite way. I'm like, seriously, dude? You need to watch my channel. So he is a subscriber now. He could be watching the channel right now. I don't know, because I don't know his username. But the point is I have explained to him. I said, guys, look, yes, it will go down. Nothing goes up forever, right? You know, stocks, bonds, shares, even your freaking fiat money doesn't go up forever, right? What I mean by that, sometimes fiat also loses its valuation, right? So, like, even today, for example, we could have, and I'm going to give you a example here, because I don't want to give you the specific numbers, because they're not, how would I say this? The numbers will not be accurate, even if I give it to you now, because they're changing every second. So I can't say, because tomorrow it could be a complete different number. So I don't want to say the number, but I'm just going to give you an example. Just for an example, £1, British pounds, is equal to $1.50, right? It's easy maths, right? So we know every pound buys us $1.50. So if I bought a pound's worth of BTC, just for the sake of this conversation, then I just say I got 10% of it. Well, $1.50 would get me 10% of it. Great. But tomorrow, all of us, so the pricing, we see BTC is $15, right? Per coin is $15, because remember, £1.50, 10%. So we say $15, one coin. That's been hovering in the market. That's how we're calculating. But all of a sudden, right, BTC price, we see it spike to $30 a coin. So, but at the same time, when we go to the market, we realize that £1 gives us $140. So it's like 10 cents less. So we need £2 to buy approximately, like, I don't know, 5%, whatever percent less. So you understand what I'm trying to say. So that's what happens. However, on the other side, we see all of a sudden it's $30 a coin, $30 a coin. So all of everything's pumped, but now £1 equals $2. So am I actually getting a bigger price, or am I getting a smaller price? So this is the reason why I don't want to give you specific numbers, even based on today, what the currency rate is. I don't, because that's the reality. Even your money, the point I'm trying to make here, even your money cannot hold its own value, right? And this is crypto, right? This is crypto, one of the most volatile assets on the planet, even more volatile than a volcano, right? When it fucking erupts, excuse my language, when it erupts, right? And when it calms down, it calms down. Do you know what I mean? So think about it that way, right? Think about it. Think of this as a volcano, always ready to explode. And it comes back every few years. But when it calms down, it really calms down, right? This is the stuff that, you know, you get your granite and whatnot made out of. But the point is we will have a time when the market will end, you know? But doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go away. And of course, if we go away, then that's a complete black, to me, it's going to be a black swan event, right? If all of a sudden the whole globe lost all the crypto's gone, we cannot use it anyway. There will be two things. One, the whole internet was switched off, or complete protocol was changed, right? So that part of the internet doesn't exist anymore, so we can't use any of those technologies. The number two would be your governments, and the governments are already doing what they can, right? When they knew that they can't win, because it's decentralized, they can't win, so they changed their tactics, right? And that goes back to Jack the Lad, right? They changed the tactics, right? And they're like, all right, we can't win with you, so do you know what? We're just going to tax you, and we're going to tax you in a very cool way, right? Oh, how's that? Well, we can't track you, we can't trace you, we don't know how many wallets you have, but we know we can track you and get you when you get back into fiat, right? So when you sell your crypto, when you come back to your bank, we got you. However, because we can't really do anything because of the regulations, the way it works, you have to self-declare, right? So that's how we're going to tax you. So think about that, right? That's how they play the game, right? So of course, and then there are other countries who turn around, oh, we just ban it, right? you know, Matic founders are from India, and it's a massive Indian project, right? Crypto's banned in India, right? So Matic suffers. I'm thinking, hold on, isn't that the largest population right now? 1.4, almost 1.4 billion people. If everybody had one Matic, freaking hell, they'll pump the Matic price by 10x right now, if not even more. But no, it's banned. So that's how things get affected, you know. But is it going to go back to $1,000? Like coming back to what he said about BTC, I'm thinking there's a probability. We cannot deny or dismiss that probability that everything could go to zero, right? But as I said, there has to be something very big in order for that to happen, right? But it's now accepted, globally it's accepted, right? So it's people know, no one's going to back off. Yes, they've been pushing it away, they laugh at you, they hate you, they do everything, right? They've done all of those things, but that time is gone. We're 14 years old now, and things take time, right? We're 14 years old. I can assure you another 14 years the governments will be holding it in their treasury bonds or whatever, right? They will have treasury, but at that time we won't be able to go and buy, sell, trade BTC because they'll have all of it. That would be the digital gold. Why? Because remember, the gold standard went, right? There's not enough gold around the planet because they sold so many, and they sold even more on paper. They just don't have enough gold, right? Actually, if you go deep enough on the ocean floor, there is plenty of gold. They just can't go there and get it. That's one. And then, you know, there are other places where there are plenty of gold, but they just can't get it. That's the problem, right? But they just don't have enough physical gold to go around, right? So, well, there's a digital gold out there. Satoshi Nakamoto created digital gold. Well, why not? So they want that gold, right? Does that make sense? So it's going to be harder and harder for us, public, to hold and own. Let's just put it this way. So that's the reality of that one. So yeah, I mean, we'll find something anyway at that time. Something will change. But yeah, as I said, they won't take it off you, but they do want to tax you on it, and they will figure out ways how to object. But ultimately, they're all going to accept it anyway. There's something coming to my mind. Donald Trump said something, and this is quite funny. So he's obviously now President Donald Trump again. And he said something about he's going to get rid of Gary Gensler. I want to see who he replaces him with, right? And I want to see what job Gary Gensler gets. Because getting rid of someone, that's the easy part, right? It's easy, right? But what job does he get after he leaves SEC? That's important, because let's keep an eye on that. And who does he get, right? You've got to understand that. Also, there's a bit of a conflict of interest. Donald Trump being the president right now. But just before that, he's announced he's launching his own family business. I forgot what it's called, right? But it's his family exchange. So Donald Trump is invested in this project, hence why he's doing it. So if he was a guy who never invested in it and said, look, I embrace technology, I embrace all of these things. I think it's 14 years old. We've got to give it a chance, right? And we've got to accept this. Yeah, fair play. Well, I remember last election, you weren't a big fan, right? So what happened there all of a sudden? Well, all I can see is that you have your own exchange and you have some of your own coins that you've launched out there, whether you've put your name on it or not, and whether you admit it or not, right? One thing you have admitted, that you have an exchange. So isn't this all self-interest and self-motivation? So isn't there a bit of a conflict of interest there? Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at. But anyway, as I said, those pointers that I will be carefully keeping an eye on who he replaces with Gary Gensler, and where Gary Gensler goes. That's very important as well. So let's see. You know, only time will tell. Basically, only time will tell. You know, only time will tell. But yeah, wow, market's doing great. BTCs. So even though we smashed through $80,000, BTC's now reattempting many times, right? So last few hours, I've noticed, last couple of hours, it's constantly been trying to battle it through the 80k again. So it's been constantly trying to get back to the 80k, and I think even if it doesn't tonight, then by Wednesday this week or coming week, we should smash through and we should hit that $86,000 level. And when those levels come in, there are a few other things that I will show you on a chart. I'm not going to show you anything on the chart right now. No point, guys. It's the same chart. And I'll happily share the link with you guys if you want to. Just ask me and I'll share the link, right? But other than that, it's the same chart. I've got it in my car. I'm just looking at it right now. market's at $2.69 trillion. So of course the other coins are now coming back and catching up. Solana, I did say 208 first target. We've currently gone to $210 for Solana, so that's a really good number. We've done great on that, ain't complaining. Who else have we got? Sui, we were in price discovery, so that's doing its thing. There's one coin that's been disappointing me, is Polkadot. Polkadot really disappointing this whole entire season. I'll tell you this right now. I am not happy with Polkadot. Matic, yeah, it's okay, but it's not doing anything that fantastic, right? So I'm not too concerned about that. But let's see what it does. Other than that, I think I've been here 49 minutes. Right, that's a long stream. I wasn't intending to do a 49-minute stream, and talking for 49 minutes really does get you, especially if it gets the throat. So I'm not going to make this any longer. I do appreciate all of you guys who have turned up to watch this unscheduled live stream. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. If you are new to the channel, please do hit that like, share and subscribe. My name is Sham, this is Zero X Files, and remember, the truth is always out there, and the truth is in the videos and in Discord, right? I do not falter, I do not take back what I say, always here. If you have any questions or anything, please find me on Discord. I'm there, right? If I'm not there, one of the community members are there, like Jack the Lad and everybody. They're all there. So anything, please let me know. You might not see me on YouTube that often. Reason is I'm not here for the I don't know, the clout or whatever you want to call it. I don't come to YouTube for any monetary reasons or anything. Maybe I should, but I just don't. I've got other things to do. So I've mentioned this many times that I'm here for the community. I've never ever intended YouTube to be my source of income or something like this, or my way of getting into fame or anything like this. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be. I don't need fame. I don't need money from YouTube. I don't need anybody controlling me, put it this way. So me coming on when I like and doing a live stream or doing even a normal random video whenever I like, that is my expression of freedom. So you know that I am absolutely free. I'm not controlled by anybody. Nobody's manipulating me. Nobody's paying me to say anything. Everything I say here is my own words, and of course anything I say is not financial advice. It's just a friendly advice, nothing more. It's your money, you do whatever you want. Okay, remember, it's your money, you do whatever you want. I can only tell you what I'm going to do or what I have done or what I will, you know, where I think the market will go. Other than that, it's been a great stream. Thank you very much, and I hope we can have more questions next time. Right? Thank you, Jack the Lad. Thank you, Bubble. Thank you, brothers, and thank you, Desi Track Riders. Thank you very much for coming to the show. I do appreciate that. And yeah, let me catch you guys on another one very soon. All right, thank you very much. Adios, my amigos. All right.